My wife cheated on me with her boss, and now he's claiming half of our $500, $0 house and $200, $0 in savings in court. She's been lying to me for years, and I just found out she's been manipulating me to cover her affair all along. I never thought I'd be the guy sitting here, writing all this out, but here we are. The craziest thing just happened, and honestly, I still can't believe it. I found out my wife, Lisa, has been cheating on me with her boss, Mark. Yeah, Mark, the guy she used to complain about constantly, saying he was a pompous jerk. Turns out he's been banging her for months, and I had no idea. The whole thing feels like a punch to the gut. I mean, I knew something was off, but I never suspected it was this bad. Lisa and I have been married for about 8 years now. We bought a house together that's worth $500,000, and we've got about $200, $0 saved up in the bank. We've always played it pretty straight, worked hard, paid our bills, tried to build a life. But lately I'd noticed little things. She started acting weird about her phone, hiding her texts, deleting stuff. She'd go out for girls' nights and come back with a strange look in her eyes. She'd get defensive when I asked about it, saying I was just paranoid, that she was tired or busy. I let it go because I trusted her, or at least I thought I did. Then I started noticing her spending more time away from home, and her stories about where she was didn't add up. She'd say she was working late, but I'd see her car parked at Mark's office building after hours. I even caught her boots in the garage one day, and I knew she'd never wear those to work. Something was definitely wrong. Still, I didn't want to jump to conclusions. I tried to ignore it, hoping I was just being paranoid. It all changed last week when I accidentally found her phone. I was looking for my own phone charger in the bedroom and saw a message pop up on her screen. It was from Mark, and it wasn't the usual work stuff. It was flirty, explicit even. I saw things like "can't wait to see you tonight" and "miss you already," and then a series of emojis that made me want to throw up. I felt my stomach turn cold. My heart started pounding so hard I thought it would burst out of my chest. I was stunned. I never thought Lisa could do something like this, not to me, not to our marriage. That discovery was just the beginning. I kept digging, checking her email, her social media, her texts, anything I could find. It was like peeling back layers of a lie. I found countless messages, some from months ago, some more recent. They all pointed to her lying, manipulating, pretending everything was fine while she was sneaking around behind my back. I felt betrayed, furious, and utterly heartbroken. How could she lie to me for years? How could she pretend she loved me, while all along she was screwing her boss? I decided I had to confront her. I waited for the right moment, and when she came home from work yesterday, I was ready. I told her I knew everything. Her face twisted into a bitchy smirk, like she thought she was so clever. She spun some bullshit about how I was overthinking, that Mark was just a friend, that I was paranoid. She even had the nerve to say I was imagining things, that she loved me and would never cheat. But I had the proof. I showed her the messages, the photos, I found all of it. Her reaction was priceless. She got defensive, then angry, then dismissive. She looked at me like I was crazy, like I was some jealous idiot over nothing. But I wasn't about to let her get away with it. I told her she'd been manipulating me all along, lying to cover her affair, and that I wasn't going to take this anymore. I felt a mix of rage and heartbreak swirling inside me. I'd trusted her with everything, our house, our money, my heart, and she'd just thrown it all away for a guy who probably only wanted her for sex. The worst part, she kept denying it, calling me paranoid, accusing me of snooping. But I knew the truth now, and I was done being her fool. After that, I sat there in stunned silence, trying to process what I just learned. My mind kept circling back to all the times she lied, all the moments I missed, all the signs I ignored. I felt like a fool for not seeing it sooner, but I also felt a burning need for justice. I realized I had to do something about it, something drastic, because if she could lie to me for all these years, then what else was she capable of? I started planning my next move, knowing I'd have to fight for everything I've worked for, our house, the savings, my dignity. I wasn't going to let her walk all over me anymore. That's where I stand now. Still hurt, still angry, but ready to take action. I don't know exactly what's coming next, but I know I won't let her manipulate me or ruin my life any longer. I just wish I'd seen the signs earlier, but honestly, I never thought she'd do something like this. I guess that's what hurts the most, the betrayal from someone I loved and trusted. And now, I have to figure out how to pick up the pieces and move on. After I confronted Lisa yesterday, everything just kind of spiraled out of control. She kept denying everything, calling me paranoid and accusing me of invading her privacy. She threw in some classic overreacting. You're just jealous, and even you're crazy for suspecting me. Honestly, hearing her say that made me want to scream. I'd caught her red-handed and she still insisted she was innocent. That level of denial is almost impressive, but it just made me more furious. How could she lie so effortlessly? I sat there staring at her, trying to find the right words, but all I could think about was how much I'd trusted her. We built this life together, our house, our savings, the plans we made for the future. And she had been sneaking around behind my back, manipulating me into thinking everything was fine. I felt sick to my stomach. I wanted to believe she was telling the truth, but the evidence was staring me right in the face. It was like a punch to the gut every time I looked at her, seeing that fake smile on her face while I knew the truth. I told her I wasn't going to keep quiet anymore, that I was going to do something about it. I asked her why would she do this to us? She shrugged, trying to act like she didn't care, like was over it all. But I saw the flicker of guilt in her eyes just for a second. That flicker told me she knew she was caught, but she was too stubborn to admit it. She kept saying she loved me, that I was the only one she ever cared about, but her actions proved otherwise. I felt like I was living in some twisted nightmare and I was just waiting for it to end. Then she threw out some more bullshit, saying Mark was just a work friend, that she never meant for it to go this far. Yeah, right. I knew better. She'd been lying about a lot of things, and I could tell she was trying to spin her story to make herself look innocent. But I wasn't buying it anymore. I told her I knew about the affair, that I had proof, and that I wasn't going to let her manipulate me into staying quiet. I wanted her to admit it, just once, to make it real. But she clammed up. She refused to own up, instead turning the tables and accusing me of being controlling and jealous. Honestly, that just made me angrier. I never thought I'd be in this position, fighting to save my marriage from someone I thought loved me. It's crazy how someone can look you in the eye and lie so convincingly. I felt betrayed, but also deeply hurt. I'd given her everything, my trust, my love, my time, and she'd been feeding her affair behind my back. I kept replaying all the moments I missed, all the signs I ignored. I'd been blind, and now I could see it all so clearly. She'd been manipulating me the whole time, covering her tracks, lying about where she was, about who she was with. I decided I needed to get some space. I told her I was leaving the house for a while to clear my head. I needed to think about what to do next. I didn't want to blow up at her, not yet, but I knew I had to get away from her for a little while. I couldn't stand being in the same room with her, knowing she'd been lying to my face all these years. I grabbed my keys, took a deep breath, and walked out the door. As I drove away, I looked back at the house that I had. Thought was our sanctuary, and it hit me. Nothing would ever be the same again. While I was gone, I started thinking about what this all meant for us legally and financially. I knew she was trying to say I was overreacting, but I wasn't about to let her get away with it. I've worked hard for everything we have, our house, our savings, and I knew she'd try to manipulate the situation in court. I had to be prepared. I started gathering evidence, copying files, taking screenshots of her messages. I even contacted a lawyer just to get advice. The thought that she might try to claim half of everything, especially that house and those savings, made me furious. I worked my ass off for those assets, and I wasn't about to let her take half because she'd been screwing around with her boss. The more I thought about it, the more I realized I'd been a fool for so long. I was the one providing for the family, working late, making sacrifices, all while she was out screwing someone else. And now she's trying to spin it like I'm the crazy one. No way. I'd always been the one holding everything together, and she'd been sneaking around, manipulating me, lying to my face. I couldn't believe I'd let this go on for so long. I'd trusted her, and she'd played me like a damn fiddle. Right now, I'm just trying to keep my head straight. I know I need to get a plan together. I have a feeling she's going to fight tooth and nail to keep her affair hidden, maybe even try to claim she's entitled to part of the house or the savings. But I won't let her. I'll fight for what's mine, for the life I worked so hard to build. I've got a lot of anger, but underneath that, there's a deep sadness I can't shake. I loved her, I really did, but she threw it all away for some meaningless sex with her boss. That's the part that hurts the most. The betrayal cuts so deep I don't even know if I'll ever fully recover from this. But one thing, for sure, I'm not going down without a fight. Since yesterday, I've been in a fog. The initial shock has worn off a little, but now I'm just numb and furious at the same time. I keep replaying everything: her lies, her dismissive attitude, that smug look she had when I confronted her. It's like I can't get her out of my head. Every time I think about how she manipulated me, I feel this burning rage that I can't seem to shake. I've never felt so betrayed in my life, and honestly, I don't even know what to do with myself anymore. I spent most of today piecing together what I could about her financials. I want to be prepared for whatever legal battles might come. Lisa has always been tight-lipped about money. She always said she handled the fun stuff, and I was the breadwinner. Well, now I realize she's been hiding a lot. I found out she's been siphoning off small amounts from our joint account over the years, probably to fund her secret meetings with Mark. It's not a huge amount, maybe $2, $0 here and there, but it shows she's been lying about her financial integrity as well. She's good at covering her tracks, but I've learned to be more observant. I also discovered she's been secretly paying for hotel stays and dinners with Mark using her credit card. I found the receipts hidden in her email drafts. She thought she was so clever, but I've got the proof now. Seeing those receipts made my stomach turn. All this time I thought we were building a life together, and she was out there screwing her boss, spending our hard-earned money on him. That's what really hurts, knowing she took our savings, our house, and used them for her own selfish needs. It's like she's been living a double life, and I was just a pawn in her game. I also checked her phone records. Turns out she's been talking to Mark constantly: texts, calls, even secret FaceTime sessions. I found a number saved under a fake name in her contacts. It's obvious she's been trying to hide everything. I feel like I've been an idiot for not noticing sooner. But honestly, I was blinded by love, or maybe just too trusting. I thought she loved me. I thought I was the only one she cared about. Now I see that was all a lie. I've been trying to process all of this, and I keep coming back to the same thought. How do I protect myself from her trying to take everything? I know she's going to argue that she's entitled to her fair share, especially since she's claiming she's been working hard to keep our house afloat. But she's the one who's been sneaking around, manipulating, lying. I don't want her to get away with that. I'm considering hiring a forensic accountant to dig into her finances more thoroughly. I need every piece of evidence I can get if this goes to court. Honestly, I feel like I'm in a war I didn't sign up for. I thought I was just working, saving, and building a future with Lisa. Instead, I find out she's been betraying me for months, maybe longer. It's like my whole world has been turned upside down. I keep asking myself how I missed it, how I let her get away with this for so long. The worst part is knowing that she's still acting like everything's fine, like I'm the crazy one. She keeps texting me, pretending to be concerned, but I know it's all part of her game. I've decided I don't want to be the fool anymore. I'm going to file for divorce, no matter what she says. I want her out of my life, and I want to protect what's rightfully mine. I'm also considering taking her to court to fight for our assets. She's trying to claim half of everything, but I've got proof she's been lying, cheating, and manipulating. I don't want her to walk away with a dime of what I worked for. I've already started gathering a timeline of all her lies, all her secret conversations, and all the financial evidence. I want everything on record. Right now, I'm just trying to keep my head straight. I feel so overwhelmed, like I'm drowning in a mess I never saw coming, but I know I have to stay strong. I can't let her pull the wool over my eyes again. I've been betrayed so badly that I don't even know who I am anymore. I used to think I was a good, honest guy who worked hard and loved his wife. Now I see that I was just a fool for trusting her. And the worst part, I still love her deep down. I want to hate her, but I can't completely because part of me still hopes she'll come clean and admit everything. But I know she won't. So I'm planning my next moves, seeing a lawyer, talking to a financial advisor, and preparing myself for whatever legal battles are ahead. I don't want her to get away with this, and I don't want to be the guy who gets played for a fool. I just wish I could turn back time and see the signs earlier, but it's too late now. I have to face the reality that my marriage is over, and I need to start rebuilding my life from scratch. It's going to be a long road, but I'm determined to see it through. Today was one of those days where everything hit me all at once, like a ton of bricks. After spending the morning poring over her bank statements, receipts, and text logs, I finally sat down with a lawyer. Honestly, I've never felt so drained and angry in my life. The lawyer told me I've got a solid case to fight for our assets, especially since I have evidence of her secret spending, the affair, and her lying about the money. But what really sank in was when she said Lisa might try to claim she's entitled to half of everything, citing marital assets, even though she's been sneaking around and hiding her own income. That thought alone made my blood boil. I worked my ass off for that house, those savings, and all the things we built together. Now she's trying to take half of it just because she's been unfaithful. It's not fair. I kept thinking about the house, our house. We poured so much into it, both financially and emotionally. I made sure to pay the mortgage, fix things around the place, keep everything in order. And here she is, trying to claim she's entitled to part of it, even though she's the one who betrayed the sanctity of our marriage. The lawyer also warned me that Lisa might try some manipulative tactics, like claiming she was forced to spend money to keep her affair secret or trying to make it seem like I was controlling or abusive. I laughed bitterly at that. If anything, I was the one who was trying to keep everything together, working overtime, making sure she had what she needed. Meanwhile, she was out screwing her boss. I know she's good at spinning stories, but I've got enough proof to counter any of her lies. While I was talking to the lawyer, I also started thinking about how to approach the divorce. I want to keep it as clean and straightforward as possible, but I know Lisa will try to drag it out or spin it in her favor. She's bitchy, manipulative, and she's got a way of making herself look like the victim. I have to be ready for all that. I plan to file soon, and I'll be asking for full custody of the house and the savings. She can't have a dime more than she's entitled to, and I'm determined to fight for that. In the meantime, I've been talking to some friends and family, people I trust. I needed their perspective because I feel so alone in this. One of my buddies told me to keep all evidence organized, don't let her gaslight me, and to stay firm. I know they're right. I've been so emotional lately, I almost let my anger get the best of me. But I know I have to stay calm and collected. I can't afford to make mistakes or say something I'll regret in court. What's really bothering me now is the thought of her trying to turn the tables. I know Lisa's bitchy and manipulative enough to try to spin this as my fault. She's already started calling me controlling and jealous, which is laughable considering I've been nothing but patient. I even caught her lying about where she was last night. She told me she was out with her book club or some stupid excuse. But I know better. I checked her phone again and saw she was texting Mark all night, sneaking around. I don't know how she thinks she can keep it all hidden. I also started thinking about the money again. The house is worth $500,000 and we've got $200, $0 in savings. That's a lot of money and I worked hard for every penny. I don't want her to get a dime of it unless she can prove she contributed equally or that she's entitled to it. But I know she'll try to argue that she's deserving of half because she stayed home, raised the kids, and kept the house running. Yeah, right. She's been out screwing her boss while I was working my ass off to provide for us. Honestly, I don't even know how I feel anymore. Angry, betrayed, exhausted. I keep looking around the house and feeling like I don't recognize it anymore. It's a symbol of everything I thought we had, and now I see it's just a shell. I keep asking myself if I should try to salvage the marriage or just cut my losses and move on. Part of me still hopes she'll come clean and admit everything, but I doubt that's going to happen. She's too stubborn, too bitchy, and too manipulative. Right now, I'm making plans to move out temporarily once I have everything organized. I need space to think, to breathe, and to figure out what's next. I don't want to be around her anymore, her lies, her sneaking around, her manipulations. I want to get away from her before she drags me into some legal mess. I'll be honest, I'm terrified of what's coming, but I also feel a strange sense of relief. For the first time in years, I see the truth clearly. And I know I have to fight for what's mine, because she's not going to do it for me. I don't know how this will end. Maybe she'll try to fight me in court. Maybe she'll try to spin it in her favor, but I'm prepared now. I've got the evidence, the lawyer, and the support. What scares me most is losing everything I worked so hard for because of her lies and manipulation. But I also know I can't keep pretending everything's fine. It is. It's broken, and I need to fix it on my own terms. I just wish I'd seen the signs earlier. Maybe then I wouldn't be sitting here, feeling like I've lost everything I cared about. But I'm determined to come out of this stronger, even if it kills me. Today was the day I finally took concrete steps. I met with a divorce lawyer in the morning, and it was like opening my eyes all over again. The lawyer, a no-nonsense woman named Corinne, laid out what I already suspected, that Lisa been dishonest about everything, and I have enough evidence to fight for full custody and my fair share of the assets. Honestly, hearing her say it out loud made me feel a little more confident. It's like I finally have a plan of action instead of just feeling lost in this mess. Corinne advised me to gather all the documents, bank statements, receipts, text messages, emails, everything that proves Lisa been lying or hiding money. She also warned me to be prepared for Lisa's manipulative tactics in court. She'll probably try to claim she was forced into spending money on her affair or that I was controlling. That's typical. I already know Lisa's bitchy side. She's good at playing the victim when it suits her, even though she's the one who betrayed me. I told Corinne I want to fight for the house, the savings, and full custody of the kids. She nodded, saying I have a strong case. While I was at the lawyer's office, I also started thinking about how to handle her attempts to spin this. I plan to keep my emotions in check, even though I'm boiling inside. I've been documenting everything I can, screenshots of her texts, copies of receipts, bank statements, so I have a record of her lies. I know she'll try to twist the story, make herself look innocent, or claim I was abusive or controlling. But I'm prepared. I want everything on record so I can fight her in court if it comes to that. After the meeting, I went home and started packing some of my things. I don't want her to think I'm just giving up or that I'm waiting around for her to decide our future. I'm planning to move out soon, probably to stay with a friend for a while, so I can clear my head and get my thoughts straight. I don't want to be around her anymore, not after everything I've found out. I need space to breathe, to think, to plan my next move without her bitchy smirk or manipulative lies clouding my judgment. I also reached out to a close friend, Mike. I told him everything about Lisa, the affair, the money, the legal stuff. He's been through something similar, so he gave me some good advice. Stay calm, don't let her see you're rattled, and keep your evidence organized. He said, "You're fighting for your life here, man. Don't let her get away with this crap." That's exactly what I needed to hear. I've been so overwhelmed I almost lost focus. But now I feel a little more determined. What's really eating me up is her attitude. She's still acting bitchy, trying to guilt-trip me or turn things around. Yesterday she called me controlling and jealous, which is laughable considering I've been nothing but patient. Today she's been texting me, pretending to be concerned, asking about the kids, acting like she still cares. But I see through her. I know she's just trying to keep her grip on the situation to manipulate me into thinking she's innocent. I refuse to fall for it anymore. I see her for what she really is, a manipulative, selfish woman who's been screwing her boss behind my back. I've also been thinking about the house. It's worth $500,000, and I've put so much into it: mortgage, repairs, maintenance. I want to keep it, but I know Lisa will argue she's entitled to half of it. That's why I'm working with Corinne to prepare my case. I want it clear that she's been unfaithful and dishonest, and I shouldn't have to share everything with her. I want to make sure I get what's rightfully mine. That house is my anchor, and I don't want her to take it from me just because she's been screwing around. Honestly, I feel exhausted, but also surprisingly clear-headed. For the first time in a long while, I see the situation without the fog of love blinding me. I know I have a long fight ahead, but I'm ready. I've been betrayed so badly that I don't think I can ever trust her again, and honestly, I don't want to. I want out of this nightmare and I want my life back. I've learned a lot through all of this, about trust, betrayal, strength, and what really matters. And if there's one thing I know for sure, it's that I won't let her manipulate me or take what I've worked so hard for. I'll keep fighting, keep gathering evidence, and stay firm in my resolve. I don't care how bitchy she gets or how much she tries to spin her lies. I know the truth now, and I'll do everything I can to protect myself and my future. I just hope I can get through this without losing everything. Because right now, it feels like I've already lost so much. My trust, my peace, my sense of stability. But I won't give up. Not now. Not ever. Today, I finally sat down and made some tough decisions. I've spent the last few days gathering every piece of evidence I could find, screenshots, bank statements, receipts, and detailed timelines, and I brought it all to my lawyer. It was a long, exhausting day, but I knew I had to be thorough. I want to go into this fight with my eyes wide open, knowing I've done everything I possibly can to protect myself and what's mine. Sitting across from Karen, I felt a strange mix of relief and dread. Relief because I finally have a plan, and dread because I know this isn't over yet. Lisa is going to fight hard to keep her lies alive, and I'm prepared for her to pull every manipulative stunt she's got. Looking back, I realize I've learned more than I ever thought I would about trust, betrayal, and resilience. I trusted Lisa, more than I should have, and she repaid that trust by sneaking around, lying, and manipulating me. It's a bitter pill to swallow, but I understand now that sometimes the people closest to you can hurt you the most. I also learned that you have to be your own advocate, especially when someone you thought loved you turns out to be someone else entirely. I've become more cautious, more guarded, but also more aware of what I deserve. The legal process is going to be tough. Lisa will try to spin the story her way, claiming she's entitled to half of everything because we're married, even though her actions show she's been unfaithful and dishonest. I plan to fight for full custody of the kids, for the house, and for the savings. I want her to understand that her lies and betrayal come with consequences. I've already started working with the lawyer on a strategy, and I feel confident I can make a case that she's been manipulating the situation from the start. On a personal level, I feel a strange sense of closure. I've accepted that our marriage is over and I'm finally ready to move forward. It's not easy, nothing about this is, but I know I can't keep living in the shadow of her lies. I've realized I deserve better. I deserve honesty, respect, and someone who doesn't betray me behind my back. I've lost a lot, but I also gained clarity. I see now that I was living a lie for too long, and I refuse to let her continue to manipulate or control me. The house, which I once thought of as our dream home, now feels like a symbol of everything I lost. But I'm determined not to let her take it from me without a fight. I've made it clear to my lawyer that I want to keep the house, and I'm prepared to do whatever it takes. I've worked too hard for that place, mortgage, repairs, late nights, and I won't let her walk away with half of it just because she's been unfaithful. I want to rebuild my life piece by piece, and that starts with protecting what's mine. As I sit here writing this, I feel a strange peace mixed with sadness. I know the road ahead will be long and difficult, but I also know I'm stronger than I thought. I've faced betrayal, deception, and heartbreak, and I'm still standing. I've learned that sometimes you have to lose everything to find yourself again. And I've decided that I will come out of this not just as someone who survived betrayal, but as someone who's finally learned to stand tall and demand the respect I deserve. So this is where I am now, ready for the fight, ready to rebuild, and finally ready to move on. Lisa's manipulations, her lies, and her betrayal have shown me her true character. I won't be fooled again. I'll fight for my future, for my kids, and for the dignity I have left. Because in the end, the only thing that truly matters is knowing you stood up for yourself, even when everything else was falling apart. And I know I did that. I'm done with the lies, the manipulation, and the betrayal. Now, it's time to take back my life and rebuild from the ashes.